What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Welcome back to another podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Oh, man. Guys, what do you guys think of this? Tell me if I'm crazy or not. But I got my dog a shock collar. I know what you're thinking. How could you, you son of a bitch? But the thing is I think he needs it, all right? He needed it. He was out of control. All right, so he basically stays at my girlfriend's place majority of the time, and she lives out in the middle of nowhere, and there's coyotes around, man. There's bobcats. There's just all kinds of animals out there, and it's another world out there, all right? It's another world, and he's the kind of dog that would literally just go up to it. Like, when you say, like, we tell him no or whatever, and he'll literally just go after that person or that dog, and because he just wants to play with it, right? He's like a super friendly dog. But we tested out the shock collar yesterday, and dude, it's killer. I'm sorry, it's killer. He's running up to someone. I mean, obviously we keep it on a low setting. It's like it's a 1 to 10. We keep it on a 1. You know what I mean? There's no need for. I mean, I don't know why they have a 10 setting on there. Like maybe it's for like a bear. If you want to control a bear, maybe you launch it on 10. Yeah, man, it's fucking working, all right? And I'm a little bit nervous about walking around with him with the shock collar. I think people are going to judge me hard, and it's okay. I'm going to let it happen. Anyways, guys, today on the podcast, we have a special guest. This guy is a personal trainer. He is an entrepreneur. He started his own personal training business about 1.5 years ago, and he's doing super, super well. He talks a little bit about just getting out there, man. I mean, this guy reached out to me to get onto my podcast because he wants to get his name out there, and we talk about networking, we talk about just relationships, and you guys will see. Please help me welcome Taylor.
Just came across your I literally just typed in fitness podcasts, and you were the first one I saw, and I came across your page, and and I just watched your first couple episodes or whatever, and I was like, man, I got to get on with this guy.
That's awesome, dude. Wait, where did you type in fitness podcast? Like what platform?
On Instagram.
Okay, crazy. Cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so like one of the hashtags.
Yeah.
Dope, dude. That's cool. And yeah, you just reached out to me, and here we are.
Yes, sir. That's kind of what I've been doing lately. I've been just trying to hop on podcasts and just kind of spread some good knowledge and some good vibes, and just...
That's dope, dude. So do you have your own podcast and stuff?
No, I don't. You'd think I would with this fancy-ass mic, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
But no, I don't. I've just kind of just been getting into it, and I've been listening to podcasts more and more. Are you familiar with Business and Biceps podcast?
No, man, not at all.
You're going to love it. I mean, I know you'd love it, so you should check that out.
Is it like a self-motivating kind of podcast?
It's just like I mean, for the most part, yeah. But they were personal trainers that basically went in, and now they're big time, and they're talking business and talking life, and
dope, dude. That's
really
cool.
Good. Mm-hmm.
That's cool, man. That's sweet. So what's your deal? I mean, by the way, where do you live? It looks like it's like super nice there.
It is super nice, man. It's I live in California.
Okay.
Nice sunny weather right now.
Nice,
I live in
nice.
the Sacramento area, so Central California. And I've been personal training out here with my own business for about 1.5 years now.
Oh, cool. How'd you get into that?
I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I come from an athletic background. I played 4 years of college football, and I got a desk job right out of college and was not feeling it. And I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to own my own business. So I was like, I like working out. I'll just work people out for a living. And I didn't even know personal training was a gig before I started doing it. So I didn't even realize other people did that because, growing up in athletics, nobody works you out really. You kind of know your way around the gym. So I've never been, accustomed to personal trainers. So that's what I do.
Crazy, man. What was your office job that you got into?
I worked at L3 Communications, which we updated surveillance systems for military aircraft. It was just a random job that I got out of college. My first salary job, my first offer, my second offer of a job, but my first big boy job, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it was just random. So yeah, I was behind the desk punching numbers, and I hated it. So
Crazy, dude. That's cool, man. And it looks like for everyone listening right now, he's in his garage, and it looks like you have like your own like kind of studio there. Is that correct?
yeah, so I got my own gym here, full of everything, full of kettlebells, medicine balls, dumbbells, barbells, all the goods.
Dope, dude. So you have your clients come there when you train, or what?
I do, and I also train one-on-one clients at their own houses, in their living rooms or in their garage or any open space.
Right. And how are you? How long have you been doing this for?
So I've had my own business for a year and a half, and I've been personal training or just training in general for about 3 years.
Right. And so you went from your office job, and you're like, fuck it. You quit your office job, and then you just instantly started this personal training business, and then just from right there, you went and started doing it.
Full board, yeah. I just, I started in debt. I'm not in debt, but I had my job, and it actually took me tearing my ACL to kind of reassess my career path.
Right.
I was wakeboarding, and I had that, like I said, that desk job, and I was wakeboarding one weekend. I tore my ACL, and I had to take short-term disability. It was a chance for me to kind of reflect on things and what I want to do. Having all this time on my hands, and what, this is the time to make the jump. Before I get in too deep. I know I'd have been successful with that job I had, but it wasn't something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And that was kind of my big boy moment. And all right, I gotta do it. And I just kind of dove full board in.
That's wicked, man. That's so cool. That's it. What's interesting about like training too, man, it's so healthy. You know what I mean? Like you feel so good about doing it yourself. And I feel like, that's kind of like the key, I feel like, to any job is just to like make sure you love it and just to keep going down that road, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as it's making you feel good, I think that's like the most important thing.
Yeah, definitely. This is definitely the healthiest I've ever been. I'm just very aware of my body from my past injuries, from what I eat, from what I do on a daily basis, good and bad habits. I definitely still have bad habits. You put a bag of Sour Patch Kids in front of me, they're going to be gone pretty quick.
Yeah, dude, I'm the same way. It's so bad. It's so bad, man. The best thing is just not to buy it. Like that's just what it is. Just don't buy it.
You just have my girlfriend just buys it for me, and then I'm like, okay, we can just cut this down, but keep buying them for me, but just buy them as much.
Yeah. That's cool, man. So how old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay, cool. And you started this like when you're like 25, 26 then, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And is that your crib there or what?
Yeah, I actually rent this space from one of my buddies. He bought this house, and we made an agreement that, I'll move in, and I was like, hey, let me use the garage for my gym. And ever since, it's worked out really well.
Damn, is it a steal of a deal?
Oh, yeah, it is. Yes, it is. I just pay for the room, and he lets me use the garage.
Wow, what a beauty. That's surprising, man. So have you ever because you're in LA,
Sacramento.
Or Sacramento, sorry. You ever thought about like doing the film industry thing, acting at all, or no? It's not your thing.
Not really. I know with my business, I use my face as my brand, and so I know that sells or gets people to come to me anyways. But no, I haven't really thought about doing any of that necessarily.
Right. So what's your game plan with your training business? You seem like you're like really busy now. What's your game plan?
My game plan, well, I'm currently in the works of creating an invention and getting that patented and an
invention? What do you mean?
An invention, like exactly what it sounds like. It's something new, something revolutionary.
Machine? Ooh, talk about that. What do you mean?
So, I can't give it away because it's not patented yet, but I will say it is in the fitness industry, and it is going to solve a lot of people's problems. I could see it, definitely see it on Shark Tank. I could see it selling on Shark Tank, no doubt about it. You're familiar with Shark Tank?
Of course.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. Okay, right on. Yeah, and but I don't want to go to Shark Tank. I don't want people to take, I like to think I'm a good enough salesman to make this happen on my own and without borrowing too much money anyways. But yeah, it's
Can you give a
it's a
hint?
lot of
Can you give a hint? Is it like a machine of some sort? Is that like an equipment?
it would fit in my gym. It could be in any gym in America. It could be in any physical training area, any doctor's office. So it's kind of it's with health and wellness, and it's very simple product. That's the ones that will go far. You know, they have to be simple.
They have to be simple, and they have to be like needed by like every gym essentially. Eventually,
100%. Every person, not every gym, every person.
Ooh, every person. Okay, cool, man.
There's a lot more people out there than there are gyms. So
yeah, that's sweet, man. Good for you. That's awesome. Well, what's your like? I mean, how do you even go about making something like that?
you just got to be creative. I mean,
No, but I was talking more so like the, I mean, just like investors and stuff. So like me, I mean, I'm in the film industry, and like what I'm trying to look for is just like investors to invest in a project. And I think that's no different than, you know, getting investors to invest into a product that you believe in. It's just like, what's your game plan strategy about that?
market it as best as I can, going through my network, which I have been expanding, which hence me reaching out to you. You're now in my network. So putting yourself out there and going for it, but doing it in a strategic way that you're going to be successful. But networking has helped me a lot. Reading has helped me a lot. Just reading about things that I'm interested in, things that we pay people to do our taxes, for instance. I want to know about taxes. I want to know what numbers they're crunching in order to make me, money or save me money. I think infinite learning is something that needs to be preached a lot. People think that when they're done with school, that's the end of their knowledge. But, I think lifelong learning is going to get you far in any situation that you're in, whether you're an entrepreneur or not.
Yeah, man, that's so true. Nice. That's some good insight. I like that. Damn. Yeah. Just continue the education. That's as far as it goes. And that's really cool that you said, man, like how you reached out to me and now I'm part of your network. I think that's really cool. Cause I mean, literally you like for everyone listening to this right now or watching, you literally messaged me yesterday on Instagram. Was it yesterday? Like that's how fast this happened.
Yeah,
it was yesterday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's your strategy on that? Like, so basically you're just hitting up important hashtags on Instagram and you're just messaging like people that you think that are interesting to you, or like, how does that work?
So my whole idea about getting on other people's podcasts is kind of just get my voice out there, get, anybody listening, kind of create a following of some sort, in order to promote my brand, promote what I do. But more or less just connect with people. And, I know that in the future, we're probably going to be working together with each other some way, some form. I truly believe that. Just seeing the path that you're taking with being an entrepreneur and just having that entrepreneurial mindset, just basically just trying to get together with like-minded people and just share insight with them, and they share insight with me, and we both win and have fun in the process.
Dope. So for people that are listening, what's some advice that you can give them? Because I know a lot of people are a little bit shy to necessarily reach out to people. Like someone, who was I talking to yesterday? It was a friend of mine, and they're like, wait, so you've never met this person before? And I was like, dude, I haven't met like any of my guests on my podcast. Like even the people that come over to my house, it's my first time really meeting them. And I feel like me and you are just extremely extroverted people, but for people that are introverted people, what do you recommend that they do? Because obviously they're a little shy. Do you think they should just step out of their comfort zone? Like, what do you think?
100%. I mean, I think, I don't think people are necessarily born extrovert. I think that's a trait that they learn and they grow upon. I think everybody is kind of shy in a way, but breaking that shell open and realizing how much it can actually benefit you and using it to your advantage, because you could definitely use it to your disadvantage by telling everybody to fuck off, but we're using it to reach out and grow and throw a good lure out there so we can catch as many fish as we can. It's all fishing at the end of the day. It's just like a good marketing strategy. It's not guaranteed results. It's just fishing, and so you're just basically setting the bait for your target audience, and it'll benefit you. Obviously, you have to use it in a strategic way, but that's kind of where I come about with it. But basically, you just You know, you have to get uncomfortable, and you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to get that mindset and realize, okay, maybe I can speak upon this crowd of 500. You know, this was hard for me before, but I'm gonna just try it. You know, and what's the worst that's gonna happen? The way I think about it is, if you're to practice it, if you were on vacation or something, you're at a place where you're really never are, you know, go and just pick up a conversation with a stranger. I mean, you're never going to see this person again. So why not? What do you have to lose? And you're just practicing. So that's some sales advice that I give when I mentor my close network. So you just got to reach out and take that leap of faith.
Yeah, like what is the worst that's going to happen realistically? They're going to say no, tell you to fuck off? Like, really?
Exactly. Yeah. And at the end of the day, people like to talk, and they like to talk about themselves. Everybody likes to talk about themselves because that's the most history that they know. So if you just ask them, hey, how's your day going? Oh, well, they're going to tell you about their day, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's so true, man. I mean, so how come you haven't started your own podcast? I mean, I feel like everything that you're saying to me right now, it just sounds like, you know, people like to talk about themselves, you know, just reaching out to people. You're just not about that, or what?
No, I mean, I'm investing my time other places right now. I don't know a whole lot about the podcast industry, and you know, it's just where I want to invest my time. I mean, I can be busy for 24 hours a day if I really wanted to. I mean, but I don't want to be busy for 24 hours a day, you know? So that's why.
It's about that balance, you know? It's about that balance that, like, you know, like you said, you could work your ass off all day, you know? But what is that? You know what I mean? Like, you have to have that balanced life where you work, you know, 6-7 hours or whatever, doing what you love. And then you go and then do something else that kind of clears your mind or kind of gets you more motivated. And it's I'm sorry. I'm just watching this guy climb down. I'm in like a big building here. And this guy's like rolling down the window, cleaning windows. It's the scariest job, dude, of all time. I don't know how to do that. But yeah, anyways, yeah, man, it's important, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's the move. Cool, man. Well, that's awesome. So is your girlfriend training too? Like, what's her deal? She trains in my boot camp class with my mom and her mom and my aunt. And it's a big old group of family members that I train at the end of the day, and people that, you know, want to train in a group setting and that are local. But yeah, it's just kind of I train her there, and she's going to school to get her master's to be a physician's assistant. She's super duper smart, and she's a very hard worker. And yeah, I love her. That's awesome, man. I think like having a relationship, especially if it's like someone that you like really trust and all that kind of stuff, I think it's super important to also make sure that they're like-minded people. You know, they want kind of the same effort or same goals that you want. So for example, I mean, I know relationships where the guy or the girl is very motivated and the other person is not really motivated, and they kind of just rely on that other person to make them happy, and that kind of like drags down the entire relationship. You know what I mean? Yeah,
definitely.
So it's super important, I feel like, that you have what you have going on with your girlfriend, and she's like obviously wants the same thing for what you have, right, going on.
Right. I think we balance each other out very well. I mean, like I said, she's studying to be a physician's assistant, and that's basically a doctor. And she, on her first test before her first exam, she was like, okay, help me study for this quiz. And it was 3 pages worth of words that I could not pronounce 3/4 of the words. And I was astonished that she was able to say the definition and pronounce every single word correctly. And I was like, how does your brain work like that? And she's like, well, you know, I can do this, but how do you think about business every day? How do you think about how to market? How do you think about these things? And so we definitely balance each other out, and it's really nice because we both learn from each other. And like I said, infinite learning. I think learning from your partner and people that you spend time with is even more fun than just learning by yourself. You know, you're learning with somebody and you're growing with somebody and developing a relationship along the way.
How'd you meet her?
I actually went to school with her in high school, and she was 2 years younger than me. She was always a beautiful girl. and I never really talked to her because I was, we're shy, right? I was shy at one point. And I went away to college, place on the coast in California, and then to Texas to play some football, and had my run-ins and girlfriends in between. And I came back home, and we met at a bar, of course, in Sacramento, and kind of just hit it off from there, and just started chopping it up. And wow, we never really talked in high school, but I mean, we lived so close, and we're just vibing and connecting on so many levels. And we've been together now for a year and 2 months, a year and a month, and I can only recall one maybe argument that we've had. So I mean, we vibe so good together, and we definitely balance each other out.
So for people listening to this that have arguments with their like relationship all the time, I know you're not a relationship guy or like a relationship guru, and I'm not either, but for guys that are in that situation, because I know there is a lot of people out there that are like kind of battling relationships constantly, what's some advice you can give
relationship advice? Man, I don't know. You're asking relationship advice. I mean, just you gotta like to be around that person. I mean, you gotta just connect with them, and obviously there's give and take in a relationship, but if you don't really feel like you're having to put up with someone, I guess you can say in quotes, and you're just hanging out, and you're just happy to be around that person. I mean, that's pretty general, Googleable,
Googleable.
It's right there. But it's true. It's just you got to like to be around the person, and then you'll actually feel what love is. It's you'll feel it. You don't know, but you feel it, and it's pretty wonderful.
Nice, man. I like that answer. I feel like, dude, you need to just have your own show or some shit. You ever thought about like vlogging or something like that? Like kind of something to get out there, like more. I use
my Instagram page for my vlogging, basically, just on my story, and create a following that way. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know the podcast game too well to dive in. I mean, I guess you can just start making a podcast. That'd be pretty easy. But like I said, my time is invested right now in other things, and but that's why I jump on podcasts with you, and so I can spread my good vibe and good words and just hang out and talk.
That's dope, man. That's cool. Are you a Gary Vee fan?
Oh yeah, of course.
Have you learned a lot from him?
I wouldn't, I mean, not a lot. I just actually recently started following him like 2 months ago. He definitely just says some eye-opening stuff, but I think the very first person, if I had a very first influencer and just open up your mind, strategy, I guess you can call it, would be, Joe Rogan.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy you said that. I'm so happy you said that.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, and no fucks given.
No fucks given, exactly. But why do you think that is? Is it because he just doesn't give a fuck, but he's playing the game right? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is that?
He probably smokes a lot of weed, and he's just a very chill person.
Probably smokes a lot of weed? I think every episode there's a joint being passed around.
Let's just call it a definite then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's just a very free, loving person and open-minded and just not closed-minded. I mean, it's something, I mean, he's obviously a very successful person, and I think that kind of just takes a little bit of what I like to call being a salesman. He sells himself, he sells his, his vibe, and I think that's what stand-up comics have to do at the end of the day, sell themselves, make people laugh. Yeah, I'm going to make you laugh, right? So, I think he just has that charisma about him that's very catchy, and he opens people's mind.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So you say you listen to podcasts often? Or you just started to, sorry.
3 times a week, probably.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's because, like, personally, me. So this is kind of crazy, especially since I'm in the film industry. But I've never read a book in my life. Like, I've never actually opened a book and like finished a book.
Wow.
And it's really crazy. I mean, I love reading scripts. I can read scripts all day. I think it's amazing. But like just reading a book, I don't know. It doesn't really. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me, But as soon as I started listening to podcasts, which was like last year, man, it was I don't know, man. It was almost like I started learning a lot. Like it was a lot of information at once. And it was like the only way I can compare it, I think, is for what people say is like reading a book. like the same kind of like feeling, right? So I downloaded a book. Actually, I downloaded Gary Vee's book, Crushing It, it was called.
Yep.
Have you read that yet?
I have not.
And listening to a book is still not the same as a podcast. I think there's just something about like having a conversation between two people. You know, there's something there that's just like really interesting to me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, it's interesting to see where things are headed with everything. It's really interesting. I don't know if you know this about me, man, but I used to be a personal trainer for 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had my own personal training business for like 3 years. It was called Personal Trainer ZK. And it was cool, man. It was a really fun gig. I liked it. I liked helping people out and stuff. My passion obviously grew into something more. And I wanted to pursue that. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
And I was actually like, so I competed too. I did like men's physique, which is, I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but yeah, I did men's physique and stuff, man. And I can't tell you how, like what that did for my business as a trainer. Like whether I won or I didn't win, like it still just like opened up so many doors, man. Like so many people trusted me. It was nuts.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that being a thing for sure.
Have you thought about doing any kind of like competition? Maybe not necessarily bodybuilding, but like some kind of competition?
No, not really. I mean, I'm more sports oriented. So if anything, you know, I play on a men's league baseball team right now. It's a wood bat league, fast pitch. So that's kind of where I get my competition at. I'm not too. I mean, I don't know. I don't really want to compete for a body figure. I'm very comfortable with my body, and that's not where my passion lies. I like competing, definitely, but it relies within sports. Anything sports. I'm very highly competitive.
So is your dream job essentially to like work on a sports team with athletes?
No, my dream job is to have passive income and golf every day or play baseball every day. You know what I mean? Like That's my dream job, is to just be a boss, you know?
Be a boss.
No,
I love it, dude. Man, I'm so jealous you live in California though, man.
It's nice weather, man. I definitely had to. I lived in Texas for 3 years, and the reason why we pay the high rates here for housing and everything is because of the weather. 100%.
Well, isn't Texas really nice too, though?
It is nice at times, but it's really terrible at times too.
Like too hot, right?
Too hot, too cold, too many tornadoes. I lived in Tornado Alley, and you know, like, could you imagine what people would do if, you know, they had a tornado running through their town? You know, I don't know. It's just, but they're deathly afraid of earthquakes over there, though. You know what I mean? Because California has earthquakes. That must just be horrible. But it's because of what they Google and they see, you know, the San Francisco earthquake, and that's all they, you know, have an impression of earthquakes on. But no, I would definitely say just California weather, though, that's why we pay our high rates here, you know?
Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do? Like, what's a day off look like for you in Sacramento?
Day off? Well, I'm never really off. I'm always working in my mind for sure. But I like to go golfing. I've kind of just been picking that up. I mean, I can go golfing, go frisbee golfing, I used to snowboard and wakeboard all the time, but I can't do that now that I messed up my knee. I mean, I can do that. I'm physically able to do that, but I'm just outweighing my chances on re-injuring my ACL, and that's always going to be a mind block that I'm forever going to have, you know.
Right.
And so I just weigh that out with because if I break myself, I'm breaking my business in a sense. So I have to be super careful in what I do. But I just like to go and, you know, play sports, go to the beach. I lived 3 years in Santa Cruz, going and played football out there. And
where's this?
In Santa Cruz, California. So that's right on the central coast.
Oh, wow. How nice was that?
Oh, it was beautiful. Every day, beautiful. I mean, but we paid $2,400 for the smallest 2-bedroom apartment you could imagine. But I was two blocks away from the boardwalk, and I would just push my longboard down there, and, you know, then I'm living. But you paid for it for sure. Damn.
I was in Los Angeles 3 months ago, and man, they have the best. I love Chipotle. I love like Spanish food. Oh man, they had like these like Spanish restaurants that you've never even heard the name of, and it's just like real Spanish food. You know what I mean? Like the TV's in Spanish, the music was in Spanish, like everything was just Spanish, man. And I loved it. It was so good, man. It was like literally, dude, it was like $4.99 for like a burrito, a side of beans. Like it was just, oh man, I could eat that every fucking day forever.
So are you saying that the fact that the TVs were in Spanish?
Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm saying. Yeah, a guy coming from Canada going there, I'm like, oh, this must be a real Spanish joint.
Exactly.
Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go here. I gotta ask you one last thing before you get off the podcast. If you could change one thing in your life right now, what would it be?
I would want to have my product in my hand, my invention in my hand, because it's in the stage. That would be one thing that I'd want right now.
Nice, man. I like that. That's cool. And dude, like that product, when it comes out, when you like patent and everything, you got to tell me what it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. You'll see it, man. I'll send you one.
Fuck yeah, that's sick, dude. All right, man. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna have the link for your Instagram, and do you have a website that you want people to go to as well?
Yeah, I mean, I do most of my promoting, and a lot of information is on my Facebook page at Taylor Peasha Training. But my website is taylorpeashatraining.com. Last name spelled Peasha.
Cool, man. Well, I'll have the link. Like, send me all this information on the DM that we were just talking on, and I'll have the link for this in the description on the like iTunes and all that kind of stuff.
Cool beans.
Cool, dude. It was nice chatting with you.
All right, brother.
Peace, man.
Later.
Bam. We did it. We got through another episode. Thanks for listening to the entire thing, guys. I appreciate it. Guys, if you want to... What am I even saying here? You know, I should probably have a list of notes that I just say on my outro to make it a lot more smooth. Or I should do what a lot of people do, and they just like copy and paste their intro and outros. It's like the same thing. Like, for example, welcome to episode 55. That's my impersonation of a podcast voice. Guys, I have this little dream here coming along. I don't know if it's too far-fetched. I don't really know what to think of it. But I think I'm going to turn this podcast into a live show eventually. Yeah, I think that's what's going down. I had no idea, to be honest with you, that I would be enjoying talking to other people so much. And I think also, too, what to expect coming onto this show. You can expect more than just actors and film people. That was one thing that a lot of people have been saying to me. You know, they love the podcast and stuff. You know, not everyone wants to listen to an actor speak on the podcast about his journey and stuff, and that's totally cool. So I am going to be getting a lot more of a variety of guests. I mean, still stuff that I'm interested in, obviously, because that's the only way I can actually like talk to people. But yeah, man, just like fitness, you know, spiritual people that are, you know, taking drugs for a positive way in their life. People that just see things differently. Social media, obviously film, acting. That's something that's going to be major on this show. But just overall, just artistic people with a creative mindset. You know who I would really love to have on the show? Which is pretty obvious because I would take him in a second. But Donald Glover, god damn. I'm not too sure if you guys seen that last thing that he made. This is America? Man. Not only was it really good, in my opinion, but it's got the whole world talking. The guy's just the guy is so talented. If you guys haven't listened to that, or actually, no, make sure you guys watch it on YouTube because the video itself is really cool. It's called This is America. Donald Glover, who you guys might know him as Childish Gambino, he's a fucking beauty. You guys should definitely check him out. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get off here, but if you guys are interested on receiving a shout out on the podcast, all you got to do is take a screenshot, put it on your Instagram story, and tag me at ZacKlassen, and I will give you a shout out on the podcast. You guys have a great day. See ya.